Si le président n'est pas là.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you. You are in the
Thank
room.
you. Thank you, co-chairs, excellencies, heads of state and heads of delegation, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. This TICAD 5 is taking place at the backdrop of a sustained economic growth realized over the last decade with the commensurate uplifting of livelihoods of the African people. The question today is how to simultaneously impact the lives of many and build a resilient foundation that will sustain our economic gains against all shocks over the medium to long term, putting Africa on an irreversible economic trajectory. Africa has benefited from new export markets and increased global demand for commodities, largely from non-traditional trading partners in former Eastern Europe, Asia, and Latin America. But our product base remains undiversified and intra-African linkage is still minimal, meaning that our economies are still vulnerable to global economic uncertainties, as well as to various socio-economic and environmental shocks. At this crucial stage of our economic transformation, inclusive growth requires strong partnership, particularly between the public and private sector for diversified investment into economic sectors that have a strong resilience and broad impact to all sections of society. Africa's people, particularly the young, are our primary resource towards achieving long-term resilience. We should continue to invest in their good health and equip them with vital skills and proper mindset for them to realize their individual potential and collective aspirations as Africans. Achieving inclusive and resilient economic growth requires responsive public leaders to the needs of the citizens and provision of social protection services even for the most vulnerable to participate in development. Our experience in Rwanda has shown that this approach mobilizes citizens to own the transformation agenda and become agents of change themselves. This has helped, for example, to adopt and implement crucial policies like crop intensification program in agriculture, turning around previous subsistence farmers into commercial farmers, as well transforming staple food crops into cash crops for internal and regional markets. Farmers were encouraged to consolidate their land and cultivate similar but suitable crops for their region, thereby benefiting from the economies of scale and support services. The government has invested heavily in building feeder roads and extension services to enable them to access markets. Once farmers started to earn income, it became easy to invest in their own health through the national program of universal health and to grow their savings through savings cooperatives associations. This combination of improved productivity and social protection has proven to be very useful and contributed to the average GDP growth of 8% per annum over the last 10 years, lifting 12% out of poverty in only 5 years. Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the economic destiny of each African country is closely connected with that of others, and our people have demonstrated this with the amount of informal cross-border trade. Scaling today's good progress in Africa and sustaining it against the risk of reversal shall require a strong commitment and drive towards deepening regional economic integration. Inclusive and resilient growth should be a shared aspiration, strong enough to compel investment in joint cross-border infrastructure projects that will expand our markets into competitive, diversified economies. Before I end my remarks, allow me to thank Japan for its commitment and contribution to Africa's development aspirations as renewed by Prime Minister Shinzo Abe in his opening speech yesterday. I thank you for your attention.
Merci bien.